Warriors, I wanted to share a couple of thoughts with you about the Gabby Petito story. Let's review. Gabby Petito was the tragic story of a young woman, 22, who went on a road trip with her fiance, Brian Laundrie, and she documented her trip in their van on Instagram. And people were calling her an influencer. And it's a tragic story. And the media jumped upon this story and covered it constantly, which is a good thing. Anytime there's a missing person and there's media coverage, I'll take anything. And it was relentless coverage. And again, that's good. But I want to remind everybody a couple of different things. The first thing is there are so many Gabby Petitos murdered, missing, we never hear about. So although I think this was excellent that this poor tragic young woman whose remains were found on September 19th, and I have no doubt was because the media covered it so much, shed a light on missing persons. So that's the good news. But I want to talk about pressing the media, demanding of our media that they cover on a daily basis all of the missing, murdered kids, people. You know, we're in this 24/7 news cycle. I don't have to tell you about that. It is nonstop and repetitive or full of information we really don't need to know. I'll be pressing at the Warriors for media. I've already started. Every day, media must cover. Surely they have a couple of minutes each day in 24-hour news cycle to share a picture, to share a story. Have you seen this child? Have you seen this young woman or young man? A couple of years ago, I was at the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in Washington, D.C. And I'll never forget, a lead investigator, we were talking, and I said to him, what's the actual number of missing children in the United States? Because sometimes you'll read 800,000, sometimes you'll read 400,000. And this is the main clearinghouse for missing and exploited children. And he said, you know, Lynn, it's a safe bet to go with about 500,000 missing children in the United States. But we don't really know, because a lot of kids are never, and people are never even reported missing. And I thought to myself, this was about 2 years ago, and I thought to myself, how can this be in the United States? Aren't there birth records and school records and medical records and friends and relatives? And he said, a lot of people are just not ever reported missing. And when we talk about missing children, we have to say that some are abducted, some are, marriage, family disputes, some are sex trafficking, some are online enticement. And all of that is being done basically in your own home, at the kitchen table, in the child's bedroom, on the laptop, on the phone, on the tablet. Gabby Petito, to me, I want to use this tragedy for the Warriors to press on the media to cover all of these other missing kids and people like they covered Gabby Petito. I believe out of this tragedy, we can use this as an example. I started actually the other day, and gain more media coverage. We need to focus. What you can do is you can leverage the internet for good. Use your Facebook, use your Twitter. You can go to missingkids.org. That is the website for the National Center on Missing and Exploited Children in Washington. Share one of their pictures. There are countless children, teens missing. You can post that picture. I post one every day at Lynn's Warriors. Have you seen this child? And I put the name, the town, last seen in. Somebody also recently said to me, how come we never, We never hear about the kids found, and I'll tell you why. There are children found, teens found. It's a traumatizing experience. A lot of these kids are runaways, the teens. They don't have a home to go back to, so they have to be placed or put in a safe house. So we don't really talk about it. We want to keep them safe. Remember, they're minors. We had an update on the Gabby Petito story today with some sort of remains found in Florida that perhaps are of her boyfriend, Brian Laundrie. And I can't help but thinking this whole story is just tragic and senseless. And the murder of a beautiful young woman, and now we don't know what happened to him. We've got to utilize horror for good. And I think you all know that. So join me. I'm going to be pressing on the media even harder to constantly share at some point within their day a missing story, a picture. That's the least they can do. They don't mind causing a lot of chaos, the media. This would be good chaos. I was also thinking right before I sat down, it's late at night now, it's Wednesday, it's the day I do my radio program on WVOX, but I always want to make sure I do a video before the end of the day. It is overwhelming, warriors. I just read there is going to be a lack of blue paint. There is going to be a pizza shortage. Toys are being marked up 400% prior to the holidays. But you know what there's never a lack of or attention on? All of the child sexual abuse material that surrounds us, surrounds our children. Never a lack on that, So I want all of us to come together. I want all of us to focus on missing children, missing teens, a missing person. Go to the Facebook page, go to the Twitter account of the National Center on Missing and Exploited Children, commonly referred to as NCMEC, NCMEC. Share one of their pictures. Go also to the website, missingkids.org, their website. Please, the Warriors is based on information and truth and facts and real studies and data. Look at the studies. Look at the actual facts. But I know you all agree with me, even one missing child is one too many. So again, you have one of your weekly warrior assignments. Go to missingkids.org, share a picture of a missing child or teen. I'll work on the media end to bring them more into the fold. I had a couple of good conversations over the last few days where I do have verbal commitments. So I'm going to be pressing harder on that one. And let's use Gabby Petito's tragedy, this beautiful young woman. Get that focus on all the Gabbies out there and make a difference. And together, I know we can accomplish this. Together, we all need to become warriors.